Hey, Jason.
Hey, Garth, how's it going?
Yeah, great, man. Good to see you. Good to see
That's
you.
good to you too.
Hey, who's your favorite football team? Remind me.
Oh, it's the Arizona Cardinals, Garth. That's long suffering, but they've probably been around longer than most football teams. Just not they haven't won more than anybody else.
And Arizona Cardinals, is that not the team in the movie Jerry Maguire?
It actually is. Yes, yes, it's
I think it
exactly
is.
that team. That was quite a moment
Yeah.
for us Cardinals fans.
And it's interesting because that movie is a lot about, making change and believing in yourself, resilience, and all those good things. Jason, what have you learned about resilience from your Arizona Cardinals?
Well, I think I'd learned it as a child as a Saskatchewan Roughriders fan, and it's just, there's always next season is kind
Yep.
of what it comes back to. And I think from a resilience standpoint, there's no time to give up. There's always a new day. There's not always another opportunity, and we'll live to play another game. And that's, I think you just got to have it in you. If you're a Rough Riders or a Cardinals fan, I think those are long suffered Jets. I'd rather be a Cardinals fan than a Jets fan. That's tough.
Sure. Sure. In this podcast, we talked to one of your students who's a huge Seattle Seahawks fan. And Seattle Seahawks, formerly coached by Pete Carroll. And Henry, our guest, and I talk about what we learned from Pete Carroll's leadership.
Mm-hmm.
And there's one word that I love that didn't come up, but I love it to define resiliency, and that's buoyancy. The ability to stay above the fray a little bit, the ability to take the ebbs and flows of life and what's happening. And I think Henry, who's in grade 12 at your school, articulates so perfectly what it means to be a resilient person. Now, in this podcast, listeners, we don't talk about what resilience is, but if you listen, you will hear what a resilient person sounds like. And that's what I think makes this podcast, this upcoming conversation with Henry, so beautiful. It's really special.
Yeah, I really hope people listen and enjoy and take a thing or two away. Should we get to it?
Yep, let's get to it. Enjoy.
Welcome back to Lassoing Leadership. I'm your host, Jason Rogers.
And I'm your other host, Garth Nichols. And today we are really excited to continue our exploration of resilience and perseverance in leadership. And we've got a very special guest that Jason knows really well. Henry is a student volunteer, advocate, and leader based in Calgary.
That's right. And Henry also does a ton of volunteering in our city and across our country. Henry's journey is a testament to the power of grit, adaptability, and leading with purpose. I've had the privilege and honor of knowing Henry now for over a decade. Hey, Henry, and he's currently a senior at our school in grade 12 at Rundle, and I can hardly wait to celebrate his graduation this spring.
Yeah, so welcome to the show, Henry. Hey, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Excited to be here. When I got the email from Dr. Rogers, I was like, can't say no. Yeah, I've known Dr. Rogers since I was very little. I've been going to Rundle since I was in kindergarten, so 12 years. So I'm probably even more excited for graduation than Dr. Rogers is. So yeah, I'm in grade 12, as I said. My name is Henry. And I guess you could say a little bit about me is I'm a twin. I have a physical disability known as cerebral palsy. I love sports of any kind. Me and Dr. Rogers, we always love getting into it about football. And yeah, that's basically some of the things about me. I'll expand into it more later in the episode. But yeah, I'm really excited to be here, as I said. And yeah.
Awesome.
So, Henry,
are you an identical twin or a fraternal twin?
No, I'm fraternal. I have a twin sister.
I'm an identical twin. And
Ooh.
for those listeners who are watching, I'm also a Seahawks fan because Henry's wearing a Seahawks jersey. There
Yes,
you go.
Seahawks fan. Dr. Rogers is a Cardinals fan.
Yeah.
I got a Cardinals scarf from him after his recent journey out to Arizona. I don't think they've had much success with you there, Dr. Rogers, hey?
It's a fact, Henry. There's 0-8 with me in the building, so that's a bit of a black mark. I think they're going to revoke my ticket next time I go to the stadium. And just a bit of a shout out to Henry's twin sister, Claudia. She's a student at Rundle Academy and does amazing, amazing things over there. And we could just as easily have had Claudia on this podcast, and maybe we will in the future. Henry, how do you think Claudia would feel about that?
I don't know. I think she'd like it. I mean, not up to me though, right? So
There you go. Hey, Henry, thanks so much for joining us today. To get us started, can you share a little bit about maybe your volunteer work, your background, and tell us a little bit about how resilience has played a role in shaping your journey of this amazing involvement that you've got in your communities?
yeah, so I'd say like my journey with resilience, it's I guess started since I was born. So for those who don't know, I was born 3.5 months premature alongside my twin sister. So I was supposed to be born in October, and I was born in July. And I was diagnosed with cerebral palsy, which is a physical disability which affects my walking, movement, fine motor skills to an extent. And I think that was my beginning of journey, or my journey when my journey started with resilience. I was told by the doctors that I would never walk, talk, do any of those basic skills, and that I was told that I would have a 10% chance at living. And now I'm here. So I kind of think I've always had that chip on my shoulder. And
Mm.
just through all the help and support, the fantastic team I've had at the Children's Hospital, I've been, I found a passion for volunteering and getting back into that kind of work. So I'm on a bunch of different councils. Some councils are provincial, some are national. But yeah, I really enjoy the work I do, and I hope my voice provides some interesting opinions and helps further any progress in that health related field. And yeah, I just really grateful to be in the position I am today. So I think uh, I've never really saw it as resilience. I kind of just saw it as a norm, but I guess when you compare it to other people's lives, I guess you could say it's a bit of resilience, but it's always just kind of been the normal thing for me. I've just kind of always been, um, I guess, just viewed a little bit less of at times, or just, I guess, stereotyped based on what I can and can't do. So I think just proving people wrong, it's definitely not been the easiest thing, but it's just something I try and do. And now all the help and support that I've had, I just want to give back and help out. So yeah.
So, Henry, let's talk about that chip on your shoulder for a minute. I think in
Yeah.
leadership, the parlance of leadership, sometimes we talk about purpose in leadership, and I think you have a deep seated purpose for the work that you do through volunteership and awareness in our Rundle community, in our city, and also nationally. So, can you talk to us for a little bit about that purpose and that idea of bringing awareness of ability to our communities? And if you could think of it, are there any specific examples where you've brought awareness around a difference and ability in the communities in which you work?
I think I think one of my main I guess reasons for leadership or taking on these leadership positions was that some people with cerebral palsy, I was lucky to have a very mild degree of cerebral palsy, but some people can't talk, can't walk, do those basic fine motor skills that I was talking about. So I try and use my voice as a foundation for those who can't talk or don't feel comfortable talking, as obviously that's not the easiest thing to do when you come from a marginalized group. So I think just using my voice as a platform to help people, whether it's through advocacy, spreading messages, and those kind of things. I definitely would say one event where I tried to, I guess, share and spread my message was through Crescendo.
Oh yeah,
Dr.
that was so
Rogers, I
good.
remember you were there, that was talking about um, my mental health and physical journey. So with cerebral palsy, a lot of people just look into the physical side of things because that's what they can see, and mental health is something that still gets overlooked. So I think that's also become a huge part of my, I guess you could say, platform is trying to normalize physical and mental health, and just that
Mm,
everyone kind of lives with it, sort of thing. And just because people can see a physical disability doesn't mean people are equally struggling with something mentally as well. So I think just spreading that message and bringing awareness to those kind of things, I think just that. And I've obviously just been really grateful to have the opportunity. For a long time, I wasn't confident with who I was in my voice. And I think just I've kind of just got to the point in my life where it's like, if not you, then who? Like, who's gonna speak up? Who's gonna start advocating? Like things shouldn't just be handed out to you, sort of thing. So I just kind of thought to myself one day, I need to start doing things for myself, and I need to be an advocate for those who can't. So yeah.
So, Henry, just before we get on, I know Garth's got a question there, but for our listeners who don't know, Alberta Children's Hospital or Calgary Children's Hospital runs a fundraiser every year called Crescendo, and it's to bring light to mental health in our community for children. And your family was so kind as to expose me to it a number of years ago, and I keep going back and back and back. And last year, you're one of the, I think, 3 keynote speakers at the event, and I could tell you that you brought down the house. There was a giant standing ovation, and people absolutely loved it. So if you're in the area, the Calgary area, I hope we find ways to continue to support important initiatives in our community such as that. And secondly, Henry, I have to give you a huge compliment because more than anybody I know, you're an advocate at our school, and every time you see something, whether it has to do with disabilities or otherwise, you are more than willing to use your voice to advocate for what's right in the school. And that's how change happens. And I've always appreciated that about you. And I think that's a true leadership trait. And if I love the line, Henry, if not me, then who? And in leadership, that's really what it's all about. So congratulations and bravo, Henry. You've done some incredible things in this short time.
Thank you.
yeah, Henry, I've got a couple of things I want to pick up on because what you've been talking about. You've been talking about your own journey where you didn't have confidence in your voice. Talk about gratitude, on a number of different levels. And, just based on what I've heard about Crescendo, you act as an inspiration to other people. So on your journey to get that confidence, who's been alongside you? Who's helped you be inspired? Who's helped you gain that confidence in advocating for others?
Obviously, a lot of that goes to my family. My mom, my dad, my sister, all my family like that. But I'd say my main inspirations have been from my grandparents. My grandparents, they're very selfless, or they're very they're willing to give back, and I think their efforts, whether it's through the Children's Hospital or other various donations to organizations, it's kind of taught me about the importance of a community. And I think when I try and lead or take on initiatives, I try and establish that same sense of community. And I think just through my grandparents, I've just learned that they don't give back because they think it makes them look better or makes them think they look good. They genuinely care about what they're doing, and that's what I think that kind of helped inspire my journey, because I found things that I care about and what I'm passionate about, and I'm giving back to those passions through my voice. It doesn't
Mm.
necessarily have to be the money, but yeah, I think they have just been such strong leaders that I've been able to look up to, and they've just been very powerful with what they do. They've been very, I guess you could say, kind, and they're just they're very wise. They've definitely given me a lot of tips throughout the way, whether it's me co-chairing meetings or doing other things, and I definitely always go back to them if I need support or anything, and they're just somebody I can fall back to. I know, Dr. Rogers, you've been able to hang out with my grandparents a couple of times, and yeah, they say the best things about you as well. So I would definitely say, Dr. Rogers, you've definitely inspired some things about me as well. I think just throughout this past decade, just getting to meet with you and do all these things. Normally, students wouldn't have connections with their headmaster, right? They always think, oh, the headmaster's all this big, scary, tough guy sort of thing, right? And I think you've just taught me a lot of skills, whether it's just been even just emailing back and forth or having those in-person conversations. I think you've definitely helped me in spreading my message and bringing awareness to causes that I believe are important. So yeah, that's what I would say.
So, Henry, I love what you've identified about Jason, Dr. Rogers, is that he's probably giving you some space, right? He's created some space for you to step into and sort of live that purpose that you have. But you also at the top, you said that you're a sports fan. Are there any like sports like teams, athletes, individuals that inspire you?
Um, so I'm a big Seahawks fan, as you said earlier. But I guess the one, if I had to pick one individual that really inspires me, was the former head coach for the Seattle Seahawks, Pete Carroll. He was the coach for a number of years, over a decade, and one of my favorite works by him that I read was a book called Win Forever: Live, Work, and Play Like a Champion. And obviously, he said, as a head coach, you're obviously going to be evaluated for your wins and your losses, but he talks about the importance of competing and always having that drive and determination. He thinks when you're competing, you win. It's not when you win, you compete. So through having that mindset and allowing myself to always have that drive to compete, to do better, that's a win in itself. I don't need the trophies or the awards to tell me that I've done good things. If I always have that drive to do better and do more, then that's a win in my books right there. So I think definitely his mindset and his way to build like a community, I guess it's a roster in his case, but the way he connects players, the way he drives them to bring the best out of each other, that's what I hope to do one day.
And if you hear Pete Carroll talk to his players, he talks to them like they're human beings. Like his approach is the reason I became a Seattle Seahawks fan too. So you and I are just like on the same wavelength here, Henry. And he's got a lot of Ted Lasso in him. Like his approach it's not about the wins and losses. It's about how are we developing these young men, you know?
Yeah.
So I really appreciate that, Henry. Thanks.
So Henry, thank you, first of all, for those kind words. They're very, very touching and hit me right close to the heart. So thank you for that. And I can say that I've gotten to know your grandparents, and sometimes I feel like they're like my grandparents. I really do enjoy them, but they are certainly very proud of you and your sister and all of your cousins and the hard work you all do in our community to make it a better place. And I agree. I mean, I think, Henry, when you talk about competition, it really does remind me of a book I'm just in the middle of right now, but I'm in love with. It's called Never Enough, When Achievement Culture Becomes Toxic and What We Can Do and what can we do about it, by Jennifer Wallace. And she talks about mattering in that book. And everybody needs to feel like they matter and they have a purpose. And I think that's really the heart of, if you're competing, you're winning because you matter. So I think whether you know it or not, Henry, you're speaking, leadership at a very, very high level. And so I really appreciate that. So I'm going to pivot though a little bit to another author I really enjoy, and I'm going to ask you a question follow up on that. So I love how we've described connections between resilience, mattering, and team building. It reminds me of the work of John Cotter, who's also another really inspirational writer and thinker on leadership from Harvard. And his work's on fostering resilience in organizations. So Cotter emphasizes celebrating small wins and embedding adaptability into culture. So Henry, my question for you is, how do you approach celebrating progress and cultivating adaptability within your own life and the groups that you're a part of? What do you do to celebrate?
So I love what you said about any win is any win, big or small. That's a great thing, first of all. But I think for me, especially in the work that I do in that like health kind of area field sort of thing, is like true success to me is when I see the impact on the people, when I see that it's supporting people, when I see that my words or my writing, whatever it is, has served an impact and now it's in action. It's not just people saying, "Oh, we'll do this," that kind of thing. But when people are actually like taking action and I'm seeing what I said in real life, I think that means so much to me, whether it's helping marginalized groups, those kind of things, even like if it's just little things, like for example, even in our school parking lot when we got the disabled drop-off zone, even those little things. Like I know not many people will use it, but just seeing it in use and seeing that my voice actually made a difference, that was very inspiring. And then in April upcoming here, I'm a part of the Canadian Institute of Health Research, and I actually get to go to Toronto, and we are having a discussion about various policy changes which can be made to uplift equity deserving groups and various other things in the health field. So I think just bringing my voice to the table and having that confidence, I even see that as as success. Even if it doesn't go well, even if something doesn't get done, just having those opportunities, I see that as success because I took the chance. And sure, if it goes awful, then that's what it is. But at least I tried, and at least like wanted to make a difference rather than just sitting at home and thinking, what could I do? I took that chance, that leap of faith. So yeah, I think success is big or small, as you said, and I think that book truly exemplifies it, which you were talking about. So yeah.
And I think too, if you have that mindset that a setback isn't a failure, like you're out there, you're gaining experience, you're gaining so many things. Your idea may not go forward, but you've gained a whole bunch of different exposure, skills, networks, etc. Henry, we're wrapping up in a little bit here, and you are in grade 12. Where
Yeah.
do you see yourself next year? Like, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I I have no idea. To be honest with you, I don't want to. I'm not much of a person who sets many goals because I always know I'm grateful for every day that I have. I know that tomorrow's not guaranteed, and I think that sort of mindset is how I see my leadership. I'm always going to take the chance. I'm always going to
Mm.
not wait to do things because what we do makes a difference, and so we must decide what kind of difference we want to make, right? So I think if you're going to be the person who's waiting for other people to take on a challenge, then that's not worth it. I think there is more risk in waiting than in the beginning. If you're waiting and you're just sitting there, that's a risk in itself. And that kind of I guess mindset, those words, those came from a book I really liked by M.H. Clark. It's actually a picture book. It's called Start Today, but I think it has really important messages in it, in that you can't take any day for granted and then you always have to take action. And it's just a really great book talking about the same thing that John Cotter kind of focuses on, is that how you have to take wins big and small, but you also can't just stop when you take a win. You also have to continue to be better, because leadership doesn't end when you get something done the way you want it to be done. Being a leader is continuing to make things better and better and better. And I think change obviously takes time, but you should work to improve things the best as you can, because when you see something and you're like, "Oh great, my initiative went through," or something, there's always something more you can do. So always going back to the drawing board. Obviously it's great to celebrate, but then you have to try more and more and more, because your voice can do so many things. And I think people don't understand how powerful and impactful their voice can be. So many people are afraid, and I think I want people to know that you shouldn't be afraid. You should be willing to take the risk, because the risk has been my entire life. My risk, like, it's been a risky path. There's been ebbs and flows. There's been a lot of things, but it's been a risk, and I've always been willing to take on those risks. Not initially, but I hope people will take on those risks, because that's how change is truly made in the world. So yeah.
Hey, Henry, can you remind me what's the title of that book you just mentioned?
Start Today by M.H.
Hey,
Clark.
I've got an idea. You should take a Sharpie marker, put rebuilding in there after start rebuilding today, and ship that off to the Seahawks. I think they could probably use that as a playbook. What do you think?
I mean,
listen, if there's any team that has shown resilience, it is the Seahawks. All right.
I mean,
Unlike your Arizona Birds.
I don't know why we're talking about the Seahawks when the Cardinals head-to-head record with the Seahawks. Seahawks have 29 wins. Cardinals have 22. We have one tie. I mean, facts are facts at that point. I think
there's the chip on the shoulder.
we were a lot closer to the playoffs. We were a 10-win team, and you guys were first in the West at some point. And then when you went on your trip, it went all downhill from there.
Touche, Henry. All right. Well, thank you. Well, Henry, thank you for your insights on resilience and perseverance. I can say, from my perspective, and I think I'm speaking for Garth and our listeners as well, you've given us so much to think about, and your journey is really worth celebrating. And the resources that you've shared, we'll definitely put in the notes here, and I hope people go to them. You've hit a couple really amazing notes along the way.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And thank you for having me on here again. I really appreciate it. And yeah, you guys are very well hosts, or I guess very good hosts. That's not very good grammar, but you guys are good at what you do.
Thanks, Henry. Thanks. And listen, to our listeners, don't forget to send us any questions about resilience, anything you've heard from Henry, which is a lot. It's amazing. So send us some questions about resilience and perseverance you'd like us to explore in our next episode. You can reach us at lassoingleadership@gmail.com or LinkedIn, Spotify, Instagram, all that good stuff.
That's hard to believe, but that's a wrap to this episode. If you want to hear more from Henry, he's actually on the Sounds Like Rundle Spirit podcast not once, but twice. He was a guest, and then he actually stole the host chair and interviewed me. So if you want to get into that, you can find on Spotify, Apple, or all the other places. But for Lassoing Leadership, be sure to like, subscribe, tell your friends. And if you know Jason Sudeikis, give him my number, because we are looking forward to having him on the show. And don't forget to join us next week when we're going to take a deep dive into listener questions around resilience and anything we talked about in the last couple of episodes.
Yeah. Hey, Henry, you've been an awesome guest. Thanks so much. Can you lead us out?
For sure. Until next time, keep leading the Lasso way.
Thanks
everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Henry.